Hello everyone, my name is Susan and I am starting a new YouTube channel, and I say new because I have had one in the past and a lot of things happened in the beginning of this year that caused me to just start over. I'm not going to get into that now. Maybe I will in the future, but for now, I'm starting a new YouTube channel, and I just wanted to introduce myself or reintroduce myself for the people who followed me in the past. I am so happy to be back. I have so much to show you. I am a knitter as well as a stitcher, cross stitcher, that is. And but in this video, I'm going to show you my works in progress for my knitting. I'm married. I live in Ohio, and I have one daughter. My husband and I have one daughter, and I've been married for 40 years. Oh my gosh, we just celebrated our 40-year anniversary. Like I said, I am back and I'm starting anew here, and I love having a YouTube channel, and I love showing off my knitting, and it really makes me feel like I'm more accountable, and I get more excited about what I'm knitting because I can show you guys, and I like documenting my knitting too. So this is like for me as well. So all right, let's start with all my works in progress. So first I'd like to start with some simple things that I'm working on. My daughter and her husband, they live in California. They came to visit over Mother's Day, and my daughter went to one of the local yarn shops here and just showered me with things. But one of the things that she bought was this yarn. Wait, that's the wrong bag. What a way to get started. Was this yarn, which she loved so much because it reminded her of a koi fish. And let me show you what this yarn is. It's called Footloose by Ba Yarn. And it's 75% superwash merino wool, 25% nylon. Here is the label. You can see that. I hope it's not backwards. I think it probably is. I have a lot to figure out, and I will, so bear with me. But anyway, she loved it so much that she said, "Mom, is there any way you could knit me socks with this?" So I was like, oh my God, yes! So I have started the first one. I'm doing the heel flap and gusset. This is just a simple vanilla sock. But because I'm doing the heel flap and gusset, this yarn did pull, as you can see, which I think she's gonna love that. Anyway, it pulled because of the heel flap and gusset. It threw off the striping a little bit, but I think it looks kind of fun. So, and we'll see what happens with the second sock. But yes, I just did the normal vanilla sock with the heel flap and gusset. That's all. It's not my favorite sock heel. My favorite right now is the vanilla is the new black. I love that. It's so much fun to do, but I did try it with self-striping yarn, and I really don't like the way it looks with self-striping yarn. First of all, it gets lost, so you really can't see the intricacies of the heel. But anyway, so I decided to do this for this one. And because I was knitting socks for my daughter, I decided that I'm gonna knit socks for my son-in-law as well. And so I am using, this was in my stash, this was a deep stash, tall pine yarn. This is a 75-25 blend as well. And, oh, I'm sorry if you didn't see that. This is the label. I have no idea where I got this yarn, none whatsoever. This is what it looks like caked up. And I'm working on the first sock for this as well. So here's what I have so far. So it's a nice self-striping yarn. It was a sock set, So it came with this small skein, 20 grams, I think. And so I'm gonna do the heel and the toe in this. I'm sorry, I'm doing the cuff and the toe in this. I didn't do the heel in this because I was gonna do the heel flap and gusset, and that's what I did. So I'm trying to stay as close to, you know, knitting these two in tandem, you know, so I can finish them both around the same time and then start the second sock right away, and do both of the second socks at the same time as well. So those are my sock work in progresses. So let me set those two aside. And I have these both in a little bag that I made myself. I'm also a sewer. So I love making these little bags, and so I don't know, maybe someday I'll sell them. I don't know, but they're perfect for sock projects, just perfect. And I always try to put something fun on here. This is what is that, a lime? Anyway, so that's that. And what do I have on this one? I believe these are cherries. Little cherries. All right, so that's that one. My next work in progress has been a work in progress since February of this year. I started this at my knitting retreat that I go to every year, put on by my local yarn shop. And I bought the yarn at the knitting retreat, and one of my friends sitting next to me saw the yarn, and she said, there is a pattern on Ravelry that uses almost those exact same colors for a shawl, and she found it for me, and I was like, oh, I'm knitting that, that's for sure. So this is called The Love of Spiders, and it's by Melanie Berg, and I am using Malabrigo sock in the colorway one is Under the Sea and the other is called Lettuce. And here are the two colors, okay? And here is what I have so far on this project. Now it's a shawl, so you know, my needles aren't long enough. I'm to the point where my needles aren't long enough, but here's the first part. And then I've gotten into this. It's hard to see because, there we go, because you can see through it because it is sock yarn. But that's what the pattern looks like. And this goes on for a while. And then it turns into just the blue, and then it has an edging on it. So I am loving this. This is not TV knitting though. This is I think it's an 8-row repeat, this part. That I have to concentrate on. It doesn't, I mean, each row gets stuck in my head after a while, but then by the time the row is over, it's time to start a new row. So it's really nothing that I can just kind of relax and knit. I have to concentrate, but I do love this so far, and I love these colors. I just absolutely love these colors. So I think this is going to be a really pretty shawl when it's done. So that is another work in progress. And I have this in a bag that I bought at Rhinebeck in 2023 from a shop. I think the name of the shop is on here. I thought it was. Yes, it is. 3 bags full. So I love this bag. Perfect, perfect. And perfect for a small shawl, you know, 2 skeins or whatnot. So the next thing was another project that my daughter saw a sample of when she went to my local yarn shop for my Mother's Day gift shopping. Kind of felt like in the end this was like, you know, she was picking out things that she liked, which was absolutely fine because I love knitting for her. I love it. So she did pick out the Hope. This is called the Hope top. Okay. And it is by, oh gosh, let me see. Hopefully, the designer's name is on this. I can't find it right now, but I will list it down below. So this is a fingering weight top, and I've never done anything like this before. This is the first time for a like tank top. So I'm just flying by the seat of my pants here. She bought the yarn. It's Knitting for Olive. And there is a little string there. Knitting for Olive. This is cotton merino. So it'll be really nice for the summertime. And this is navy blue. And of course, that's another challenge because she's not a knitter. So I don't think she realizes dark yarn isn't really that easy. But I love my daughter, and I'm gonna do, you know, if she wants something knit, I'm gonna knit it. So this is where I am so far. It's really hard to see because I had to put a lot of stitches on hold. So I have the front of this complete. But again, it's really hard to tell because these stitches are now on hold and they spread out and they go to the side of, you know, the arm where the armpits are. And so, gosh, I wish there was an easier way to tell you. I started on the right strap in the back. So that's what this is. And I got down to this point and these stitches were put on hold as well. So now I'm starting the left front and I will pick up these stitches and then start down that. And then in the back, these two will join. And then in the underarms, I think the back is a little bit higher than the front. And then the underarms will, they'll join there and then I'll start knitting in the round. It's gonna take a little bit of time. Oh, there's my phone. Sorry about that, it was spam. You know, spam. She calls a few times a day. So the edging on this is all cables, and I'm not sure you can see this real well, but it's all cables, and it's gonna be cables along the arm as well. So I'm doing all that now. So once the cables edging is done, then, you know, really the hard part's gonna be done. Not the hard part, but the part that you have to kind of, you know, put a little effort into. And then the knitting in the round, I think it calls for an Italian bind off. I'm not really sure, but my daughter said that the lady at the local yarn shop said you don't have to do that. You can just do a regular bind off, but I'll see how I feel when I get to that point. If I wanna do the Italian bind off or the bind off that they call for. After I've gotten this far, I'll probably wanna just complete it the way the pattern says because, you know, but I like this and I love the yarn. I think it's very, very pretty. So I think she'll like it too. It looks so tiny here, but it's really not because it's folded around the back here. So it's really not tiny. It just looks like it. I could, if I open these up, they're not long enough for me to stretch it out and I don't want to drop any stitches. So you're just gonna have to wait and see what this looks like as I continue on. But this is what the actual product looks like. And see how the back is much higher than the front. So I'm on my way, I'm having fun. I will probably send her the socks as well as the top in August. My son-in-law's birthday is in August, so, and then it really doesn't, she lives in San Francisco, so it really doesn't start getting warm in San Francisco until the fall. I mean, those are warmer days there for them, so she could wear this top then. So I feel like I'm not in any rush, but I'm still trying to work on it as much as I can. I have two more works in progress, and they're both sweaters. So the first one is the Porcelain Yoke top by, or sweater by Lee Knits. And I am using, I'm using Knit Pit Switch for this. In navy blue. This is a little bit lighter than the blue that I'm using for my daughter's top. but this is very soft yarn. It's DK. And then also I'm using the white too, because this is a color work top. I'm done with the color work on the top part of the sweater, but I still have to do color work on the sleeves. But this is what I have so far. Okay, so I'm now just knitting in the round to try to get to the bottom. And then of course I will pick up for, let me move you guys back a little bit. I will pick up for the sleeves, and then this section of the color work will be on each sleeve. So that's all. It won't take very long or anything, but this has been so much fun. I love color work. I especially love two-color color work. So this has been a really fun project. If anybody is looking to get started in color work, I would recommend this. There's nothing difficult about it. There's very few long floats. I have picked up anything I think over 5 stitches. So I'm not that picky about, you know, catching my floats, but I don't like them to be too long. So, but yeah, this has been a lot of fun. I can't wait till this is done. It's just gonna be nice and cozy for the winter months. So yeah, so that is the Porcelain Yoke Sweater by Lee Knits. There's also a porcelain sweater where the color work goes all the way down, but I kind of wanted to do this one. So that's that. So that is how far I got on that. And I will link all of these down below, all these projects. So that's that. And one more I have. Sorry about that. I've got you on the top of a cart, and then I've got all my projects on the cart. So this is the Sparkle Sweater by Casapinka. And this pattern was the first sweater I ever knit. I went to a sweater class, and I made like 5 billion mistakes because it was my first sweater, but I still love that sweater. So I am using Knitting for Olive in their merino, and this is in Morning Haze. And then I'm using Kid Silk Haze, Rowan's Kid Silk Haze. And I don't know, this just has a regular number for the colorway, but it's white. So those two together are making this. So this is how far I am so far. This is just your basic raglan sweater. It's not very difficult. It is a pearl side. The right side is the pearl side, but I'm not doing that. I'm just knitting this, and I'm going to use the front for the knit side for the front for the outside. So you can do whatever you want when you buy a pattern. So I am now working on the ribbing at the bottom. So yeah, I'm knocking this out pretty quickly. So I will be right back. Okay, I'm back. Sorry about that. My little doggy was just entering the room, so I felt like he was just about ready to start barking. And if my dogs bark, they will make your dog bark. And so anyway, back to this. Yes, I love this so much. This is going to be a nice cozy sweater when it's done. Very simple knit. Raglan. The sides of it call for a, gosh, I don't know what this, but a stitch down the arm, which I didn't do either. I did that on my first sweater, but I didn't want to do it on this. I just want to keep this as simple as possible. I've already picked up for the collar. And then I just have to pick up the sleeves and knit those. So after I finish the ribbing. So this is coming along well. I'm not in any rush to do this because it is in the middle of the summer here. So yeah, that's all I have on my needles. I do have the Cozy Comfort throw on my needles. It's in the other room. I will show you. I'm almost finished with that. I'm using an Advent that I got from Cornbread and Honey. in December, and I was going to use the whole thing, but I'll be honest with you, I think I've used 7 skeins and I am completely and totally over it, and I still have to do the I-cord edging on the whole thing. So I taught my best friend how to knit this year. She comes to my knit group with me, and she just knit one, and she knit hers just absolutely huge, but we decided that we're going to do the I-cord edging together. I've never done an I-cord edging that was separate from the actual, you know, that you add on later. Okay, I just finished, I think it was the Sophie Shaw, where, you know, you do the I-cord as you go along. I'm kind of confused at why the designer, who is Molly from the Homespun House, didn't do that. I mean, you know, why we didn't just put an I-cord edging on it as we knit it. I don't understand why. But anyway, this is the way it is. So, and it'll be good for me to learn how to do that. So that's all good. But I will have 5 skeins left, which I am going to knit a muscle burrow with, because I've never done one, and it is on my list of things that I want to do. So 5 skeins would be perfect, because 5 20-gram skeins is 100 grams. So I will be doing that with the 5 skeins that I have left. So yeah, that's my whips. I have a ton of cross stitch whips that I'm working on, but I will show those in another video. I will list everything that I'm working on down below, and I just want to thank you so much for watching. This is my very first video, episode 1 of the Knitty Stitcher, which is the name of my channel, because I do both, like I said. And you know, I hope you enjoyed this, and I hope you'll come back for more. So and in the future, I do want to talk about some of the wonderful knitting vlogs or blogs or podcasts that I watch, because I really enjoy doing that as well. I don't think I ever knit without watching a podcast when I'm at home, as long as it's like easy knitting. So I would like to share that as well. So thanks again for watching. I really appreciate it, and I will see you in the next one. Bye now.